What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and I wanted to give you a quick TLDR version of the D&D Direct livestream. It ran for about a half an hour, and it covered a variety of different topics, so I'm going to do my best to sum them up here. You can also go just watch the live stream. It is available out on YouTube or on Twitch, and you can watch my live react to it here on YouTube, where we cover that, the after show, as well as several other things, and a lot of rants in that particular live stream from me. But you can find that out for yourself. One thing I wanted to discuss that they did not talk about in anything in this D&D Direct was one D&D. We did talk a little bit about the future products coming out for Wizards of the Coast and D&D in in the coming months and the next 5 years. We'll cover that towards the end of the video, but no reference to the playtest or one D&D. So it opened up talking about Minecraft, and yes, that's right, Dungeons & Dragons is coming to the Minecraft marketplace this spring. So if you want to do things like play as a barbarian or a wizard and play in one of the iconic locations like Icewind Dale or Candlekeep, that will be available for your Minecraft players out there in the next couple of months. So be on the lookout for that. We talked a lot about action figures in the 6-inch line for the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. Most of those are available in Target stores, as are the Dicelings, the sort of transformer-like dice that fold out into a D&D figure of some kind, whether that be a beholder or a dragon. I have a review of that already filmed and uploaded to YouTube. I just have to release it. We also talked about the D&D cartoon action figures. I also have a video reviewing the Venger and Dungeon Master set. I have those as well. And then they also touched on a very interesting Golden Archive series of figures, which are significantly highly detailed figures. It looked like the Xanathar figure was about like yay big. They had a Xanathar and Silgar, a brown owlbear, and a Displacer Beast themed after the D&D Honor Among Thieves movie. Most of those are set to release tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Hasbro Pulse. However, one of those, I believe the Xanathar and Owlbear will be there, or one of them will only be available on, I think the Owlbear actually might be GameStop exclusive. The others will release on Hasbro Pulse tomorrow. If you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, there is a new Secret Lair release in a conjunction with the D&D Honor Among Thieves movie. It is available right now, so run over to that if you want to get the various characters from the movie in a D&D or in Magic the Gathering form. We had a sit-down talk with R.A. Salvatore, the 35-year veteran author of the Drizzt, Legend of Drizzt series, which, yes, 35 years of Drizzt at this point, and he is continuing and concluding the latest trilogy of the, I believe it's the Way of the Drow trilogy, Way of the Drow, I forget what it is, Tao of Drizzt, whatever it's called, but it's called Lolth's Warrior is the name of this novel, and that comes to an end later this year, that particular trilogy. And he's also working closely with Gearbox and Cryptic Studios to help produce the newest release for the Neverwinter MMO titled Menzoberranzan, featuring Drizzt heavily as part of that gameplay. And he went into a little bit of what it is to create for a novel and the differences between that and creating for a video game. We also saw more stuff from WizKids. They showed off early images here that I've seen before, which are pretty cool, of the 20-inch tall life-size Mimic figurine, as well as a new 11-inch tall baby Owlbear figurine, which is set to launch in February of next year. And yes, it is as cute as you think it is. We got a brief look at the virtual tabletop that's coming next year for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a specific video on the D&D YouTube as well as, again, covered in this live stream, but it shows things like rolling of dice, spell effects, integration with D&D Beyond. There was an article mentioning that there will be a marketplace. We don't know what that marketplace actually means, but it did reference the concept of being able to share assets between players. Whether that costs anything or not, we don't know. But playtesting to the wider masses will begin sometime here in 2023. I will be attending the D&D Content Creator Summit, where we know that part of that discussion will be about that virtual tabletop, so perhaps I'll be able to bring more information back after possibly hands-on demoing it in the next couple of weeks here. The other thing is it's designed, there was reference to running it on console, and it did also reference, again, tablets and mobile devices. However, I don't know, as this is an Unreal product, how feasible that will be to do all of the interactions in there. But It does look pretty interesting. Some of the connectivity features and things seem useful, but there are a ton of virtual tabletops out there, so we'll see what it brings that is wholly unique. Joe Manganiello was there briefly to talk about the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons documentary he's working on, and he also very casually dropped that he is working on a live-action Dragonlance, seems like TV series. I don't believe that's ever been referenced before, so it was kind of weird to just sort of casually drop it in the course of his interview about the anniversary documentary, but either way. And lastly, we ended with a discussion with Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford about the future of what they keep referring to as the D&D Multiverse. We talked about things that are coming out this year, Keys from the Golden Vault having already released. Now we know that we know book releases in Q2. In Q3, we will be receiving Big B's something about giants. I forget what it's called, but it's basically a Big B book about giants. Big B's Glory of the Giants, I think it's called, and it's essentially a Fizban's Treasury of Dragons style book, but this time focused on giants. We also will get Phandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk, which will be the name of the Phandelver campaign, which will also provide us more insight and actionable things on the obelisks that have appeared throughout the variety of D&D adventures over the past few years. Yes, I am aware that they are referred to as Netherese-based obelisks in the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign, but this is apparently going to be more news about that. And then coming up in Q4 of this year will be Planescape, which was, I believe, confirmed already before to be a box set in a similar vein to Spelljammer, though I hope we get a little bit better treatment than Spelljammer did. But we also have the original artist, Tony, who I'm going to call him Tony D. I don't remember how to say his last name, but was the kind of one of the original artists of Planescape, is back to design the art for this Planescape box set, and it's very exciting. There's a big panoramic banner piece of art for it that looks fantastic. And then coming later in the year, also in Q4, is the Deck of Many Things themed book. In the after show, not actually contained in the live stream, it was alluded to that there will be additional cards beyond the base 22 cards of the Deck of Many Things, possibly up to a full 52. I don't know if that was officially confirmed, but it also sounds like there was new art for all of the Deck of Many Things cards, and it does also seem like we'll be able to get a deck of cards officially branded from Dungeons & Dragons regarding this in some aspect, and learn more about the history and the chaos and the multiversal ties of the Deck of Many Things. Then we got some very surprising news about the future of D&D and about how Vecna will be coming in 2024 and kicking off a brand new adventure that possibly, and from what we saw and corroborated in my chat, seems to be some sort of Thanos style, at least that's the interpretation we have, of an MCU-like Avengers style long-term storyline, potentially involving Vecna. There were a lot of mentions of multiversal stories and stories to come, and future ties of this. So Vecna is coming next year. There was a reference to the Red Wizards coming into some sort of storyline. It sounded like in 2025. And of all things, Venger, the villain of the D&D cartoon series, will have some sort of adventure tied to him at some point in the future. We also had a reference, a couple images of things like Modrons, as well as we know there is many more stories coming in the distant future, tying all of these characters together and possibly having storylines that allow us to hop between worlds and long-term storylines that we may be, again, building up over the next 5 years. I think that pretty much covers the majority of everything discussed in the live stream today, the D&D Direct live stream. So I hope this is relatively quick. This is probably the quickest too long didn't read style video that I've ever done. I'm just checking D&D Beyond as I see right here to make sure I didn't miss anything. We had Minecraft, the Monstrous Compendium. which I believe I mentioned, but if I didn't, there is an official Monstrous Compendium Volume 3 released today, which is available for free on D&D Beyond. This has a variety of different monsters from the Minecraft world translated to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, something we didn't discuss, there is a new website called playdnd.com, which will be a kind of a starter point for you to kick off if you're looking to get people into D&D and they want to create characters. You can go to playdnd.com as a way to get folks into the game and learn about character creation and things, and that will lead into the sort of learn to play events that will be happening at friendly local game stores, I believe, next weekend. Not this particular one, but the following one. We talked about the Hasbro merch, the Secret Lair, R.A. Salvatore, the virtual tabletop, the life-size figurines, Joe Manganiello, and a future look at D&D source books, and so on. I'm just scrolling through here to see I didn't miss anything. Oh, there also was a song from Joe Cat called Grab Your Friends to Play D&D. It was all about teaching them how to play and what D&D is all about. Didn't want to make sure I missed out on that. I could show you a quick image here. Here's like some images of the virtual tabletop in action. Again, there's a little short video here showcasing that. Talked about the life-size figurines, Joe Manganiello's documentary, and again, a look into the future of the source books. Bigby presents Glory of the Giants, Phandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk, Planescape, The Book of Many Things, and then again, plots and things for the future. Vecna will unleash his cosmic horror upon the D&D multiverse with a world-hopping adventure in 2024 that celebrates D&D's 50-year history and reveals plots for years to come, which makes us think that we might see things over time. There's also reference, here you go, but Vecna isn't the only prominent D&D villain that will be returning. As other fan-favorite villains take center stage, more plots and connections will emerge. The Red Wizards of Thay will appear in 2025. The major antagonist of the 1983 D&D cartoon Venger. Last, we're told to expect the reappearance of the League of Malevolence, a group of villains from the 2021 Feywild adventure, The Wild Beyond, The Witchlight. There also is this 40% off D&D books and digital dice on D&D Beyond, sale right now. And then, let's see. There's a Themberchaud digital dice set. There's bring powerful magic items straight out of the D&D Honor Among Thieves, the Thieves Gallery to bring those into your game. Gemstone dice pack, and so on. I think if we were to click the Thieves Gallery here, that gives you basically all that we talked about. So you can see, again, it's also the various stat blocks for the characters from the D&D movie, as well as the magic items associated. So anyway, I hope that suffices for a quick rundown. You can go check out the videos for yourself if you want to see things in more in-depth coverage. Be on the lookout for more stuff from me over the next couple of days as more things come out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.